Mopay na aga, maayong buntag, and good morning everyone. Welcome back to another vlog. It's me again, Rona, and this week we are going to talk about the computer-based test or CBT. Hello guys, so first of all, I want to say thank you for those who continuously watch my videos. We've been uploading Q&A Tuesdays and hopefully we get to maintain uploading this content every week. So thank you. And for those who are new in this channel and if you want to know more about nursing, please do subscribe and don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you will be notified when I will upload a new video. And not only that, I don't only upload videos about nursing but just really anything about lifestyle here in the UK and challenge videos as well. Right, so last week I've discussed about IELTS and this week, as promised, I'm going to discuss about CBT. I did mention that I'm planning to upload a 3 video series. Is that what it's called? I'm planning to upload a 3 video series wherein I discuss about the requirements that are really important for you to pass before coming here to work in the UK. So the first one I've talked about was about IELTS, and if you haven't seen that video, please click on the link in the description box down below and also here. So I'm gonna put a card here and hopefully you get to know more about IELTS as well if you haven't watched that video yet. Oh, my face looks really swollen. Oh my gosh. But enough of me. So let's talk about CBT. So CBT means computer-based test, as I said. So now, when you pass IELTS, the next step for you to do is to actually pass CBT. You can take this on your own, or if you have an agency, they will actually direct you and guide you and give you instructions on what the next steps are, and that one would be passing the CBT. So it's your decision now whether you want to take CBT first, or you can just apply to an agency since you have the IELTS, and then afterwards they will direct you to take CBT. Now, how do you take this? There is a website called the Pearson View wherein you register and you book online. They will tell you where the testing centers are. The instructions will be there. So as a summary about CBT, there are 2 parts for the test of competence under the NMC or the Nursing and Midwifery Council, and part 1 is the CBT and part 2 is about the OSCE. So OSCE, we will try and discuss a few things about it hopefully next week, if I could do so. Yes, so this week is gonna be all about CBT first. Alright guys, so before I confuse you, I would just like to say that before you actually register to take the CBT, you need to register first under NMC and they will be the ones to guide you whether you can take the part 1 now, which is a CBT, and then eventually they will direct you as well whether you would take part 2. So under the NMC website, they did say here that the test of competence requires candidates to complete an online application process. You register in their website, and then once the NMC has told you that you need to take the test of competence, you can now book your CBT with Pearson View. Now, CBT is a multiple choice type of questions, and under the website, it contains 120 questions, and you need to complete this within 4 hours. So it is going to be about adult nursing, and whether you are going to get a different field of nursing wherein there is mental health nursing, children's nursing, learning disability nursing, you first need to pass adult nursing. Now, it doesn't necessarily require that you complete 4 hours before you end the exam. However, I would suggest that as much as possible you try and complete this, or you go near to this allocated time frame, because I am gonna share to you my experience. Now, I actually failed my first CBT exam. Yes guys, I failed my first CBT exam. Now, I'm gonna share to you on why do I feel like this happened. To start, I took my CBT exam in Cebu City, and the testing center was in Subhotel Family Hotel in Cebu. It was close to SM City Cebu. So the testing center was in there. To cut the story short, I went to the testing center, and what I actually felt when I took the exam is that it was more of how nursing was practiced in the UK rather than a medical type of exam, you know, like it was more of, again, how nurses practice their profession in the UK. Now, when I took the exam, I was confident that I would pass it. Yes guys, I had that confidence in me. I was pretty sure that I would pass it. In fact, I finished like within 2 hours. I finished the exam. But then I went out of the exam, and under the NMC website, as it says there, your test results will be emailed to you and released after 48 hours of taking the examinations. So what happened? I received a failing mark. So I was surprised. Why did I fail the test? Anyways, I retook the exam. So I know your follow-up question. You are going to ask, how many times can you actually retake or take the exam? So you are allowed to take the exam 3 times, and under their website, it does say that for retaking the exam, you are allowed to sit the CBT up to 3 times as part of one application with a minimum of 10 days between each. So once there is an available schedule, you can actually retake it as long as there is a 10-day gap between them. If you're unsuccessful after your permitted attempts, your application will close. You will be required to submit a new application and will not be able to sit the CBT again for a minimum of 6 months. So that's the answer, guys. Then what will happen if you fail that again? So what will happen is that your application will be closed again, and for you to take the CBT on your 3rd attempt, you would need to email them now. So the email will be in the article under the NMC website. So you are allowed 3 retakes. For the first take, you are allowed to take 3 times with 10 days gap between each of them. If you feel that, you can take the next CBT after 6 months, and if you feel that again, in order for you to have a 3rd attempt, you need to email them. So what I did, guys, I did not rush. I did not just wait for 10 days and then took the exam again. I reviewed, studied over and over again, and just made sure that the next time that I'm gonna take the exam, I would be able to pass. So there's this thing, guys. So at that time, I already have an employer, because what I did was, after the IELTS, I applied to an agency, I had an interview, and that's when I took my CBT. So I already had an employer, and the one thing that I had in mind is that I don't want to be left behind, because I was part of a group and my colleagues were already passing CBTs. So I was thinking that I don't want to be left behind, but at the same time, I don't want to fail again to be further left behind. So you need to think about this, guys. There are a lot of factors at risk here, because you don't want to be left behind. At the same time, you also don't want to be wasting money. So if you just rush through it, well, you might pass it, who knows. But also, what if you fail and you get to wait another 6 months, so you'll end up being left behind? If I rushed through it, then I would have not passed this time around. You get what I mean? So I made sure that before I retake the exam, I would be able to pass it already. So I had to study beforehand, over and over again. Now, it wasn't just me. I wasn't alone. This is a good thing if you decide to go and take the CBT if you already have an employer, because you're not on your own. And that's why I would suggest that the path you need to take is for you to take the IELTS and then apply to an agency, and then they'll guide you through it. At least you're not on your own. You know, you have these other people to talk to. What's the process? Where are they now? What is the stages that you need to follow? And then if you have to take it on your own, I don't know, because again, that wasn't my experience. So obviously, I would suggest what I went through. At the end of the day, it's still your choice, guys. So I retook my exam at the same testing center in Subotel, Cebu. And when I took it this time, I actually used most of the time. I was so careful this time. I think I spent 3 hours and 40 minutes, even though like an hour and 40 minutes of those were just focused on reviewing, going back to the questions, checking whether my answers are right, going to the loo, coming back again. So I used most of the time this time, not like my first take wherein after I answered the questions, I went out straight away and just went home failing. So this time, I used most of the time. I finished around 3 hours and 40 minutes again, I think. You might ask, what is the other thing that I have been thinking why I failed the exam aside from the time? Because to be honest, I did hear some tips wherein they said that for the group of nurses who actually just used a small amount of the 4-hour maximum period of time, there was a higher percentage of that group failing the exam compared to the nurses who actually took the exam and made use of the 4 hours of the time. That group actually had a higher percentage of passing. So the second time I took the exam, I made use of the 4 hours. Well, I did not consume everything. I left 20 minutes behind. But yeah, I think that is another factor why I passed the second take. The other factor that I would say why I failed the second take is I did answer a question wrong. You will ask, what is the content of CBT? Now, on their website in NMC, they have this nursing CBT plan. So it says that the content is generic nursing domains, generic competencies, or the content is about the generic nursing domains, generic competencies, and essential skill clusters. Now, for the domains, professional values is approximately 27% of the exam. Communication and interpersonal skills is approximately 10% of of the exam, nursing practice and decision making 33%, management and teamwork 13%, and unique and specific nursing field competencies within each domain approximately 17%. Now, I don't want to elaborate this because it's gonna make our life complicated. But as I mentioned in the first part of this video, CBT is made up of 120 multiple choice questions. 50 questions will relate to generic nursing competencies found in each of the domain that I mentioned. 50 questions will be the application of generic nursing competencies to the specific field of nursing being applied for, which is adult nursing. And then 20 questions will focus solely on the specific competencies required for the field of nursing being applied for. Now, what was that question that I failed? Now, I'm not gonna specify the exact question because we're not allowed to. But during our time, we were told that for the CBT, although it has 120 questions, 10 of the questions in there are known to be critical questions. And whether you pass their passing rate, which is 68%, pass that. Even if you have only one mistake, but you answered one of the 10 critical questions wrong, you will end up failing the exam. Yes, guys, so the passing rate for adult nursing CBT is only 68%. And it was actually hurting when I failed it because I honestly thought I will pass it. But then, if you did fail one, even just one of the 10 critical questions, you'll end up failing it. And now, it doesn't say here on their website, but I'm pretty sure this is still existent. Correct me if I'm wrong. To those who just took the CBT, please let me know as well because I want to find out as well if this is still true, that there are 10 critical questions, and even if your passing rate is 90% or 95%, as long as you get this once right, you will pass the exam. If you have even just one of them wrong, you'll end up failing it. That is what I think happened to me. But pass is pass, guys. You learn from your mistakes, and this is another thought that we can use this week. We just moved on, and thank God I passed my second take. I was really happy when I found out about the news, and here I am, working here in the UK. Now that I shared my experience and some facts about the CBT, I will give you a few tips that you can use when you take the CBT exam. Now, these tips, guys, are from my personal experience and from my own opinion only. If they are the same with the others, it's because we went through the same experience. And if they're old school or if you knew about this already, that's okay. But still, hopefully this would help those who are just about to take the CBT. My first tip, guys, is a general tip, I would say, is that don't take the exam if you're not ready. So this is not a game, guys. You're spending money for it and you need to take the exam once you're ready. You might ask, when will you be ready? When will I be ready? It'll be the same for all the other exams. You can never tell when you're ready. But you can always ask yourself, did you prepare enough? Was your preparation enough for you to already take the exam? So the only person that you can ask this question is yourself. Have you prepared enough? Make sure you did before you take the exam because you don't want to be wasting money. Second tip that I would say is another tip that I already shared for taking the IELTS, which is eat enough food, enough for you to be able to pass through the 4 hours exam. Guys, you will not be allowed to access your personal items when you are taking the exam, not unless if it is a medication or food that you need to drink specifically on a specific period of time. But other than that, you're not allowed to access anything. So an empty stomach means an empty mind. Therefore, put something in your stomach so that you have something in mind. Make sure that you follow instructions properly. Make sure that you listen thoroughly to whatever instructions are given to you and you follow this properly. Simple mistakes can cause us to fail, guys. So make sure you listen thoroughly to the instructions being given to you. Another tip that I also shared last week is to be sure that you have all your things in hand already. You have prepared the requirements that are needed for you to take the exam on the day before the actual exam. So that on the day that you are about to go to the exam, you just bring your bags and you're sure that you have brought everything that is required of you. And also, do not be late. If you're required to go there 30 minutes before the actual testing time, then be there. And of course, for the most asked question, what did I use to review for my CBT? First of all, I would suggest that you enroll yourself to CBT review centers. Nowadays, the agencies who actually help you find an employer. As for my case, again, ASC Global Recruitment, I am not paid to promote you, but I will because you helped me reach my dreams. ASC actually have internal reviews that they give to their nurses, and this will help you out in terms of passing your exam. The second thing is make sure to read books that are about British nursing or UK nursing. And the third one is the book that I actually read through when I was about to take the CBT was the Royal Marsden Updated Edition. So whatever edition's the latest one, read through it, guys, because after each chapter of the book, there are follow-up questions, so those questions are going to be helpful for you, so make sure you read through that book. And of course, the one thing that was unavailable to us when we started are the online mock tests. So there are a lot of mock tests online that you can use or you can practice on. Now these mock tests are just based on the NMC blueprint that they gave out on what the content of the CBT will be based on the domains that they gave out. These are not the exact questions, but still these questions would be helpful to you. So there are a lot of resources out there, guys. Be sure to get them. So go to the review centers, check out the mock tests online, and read the books. So it's the usual thing that you use or you do before taking the exam. Now, I'm not gonna be releasing the exact questions because we are not allowed to, confidentiality wise, and by law we're not allowed to share this. So these are the only tips that I could give out. Hopefully this is enough. Hopefully these are enough, and to those who are to those who are going to take the exam soon, I wish you luck. Be positive, stay confident, and also I wish you luck. Be positive, and always remember that if others can, you also can. So I hope this video was helpful, guys, and I hope this video was helpful, guys, and I hope you like it. If you did, hit thumbs up, comment down below if you want to tell me something, say anything, or suggest anything. And please don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell beside the subscribe button so you will be notified when I will upload a new video. Salamat na pagkita. See ya!